And welcome back. Let's hope it works this time. We are doing iRacing. Turning down video settings. What is the problem here, man? What is actually the problem? We're just gonna go ahead and get started. This is Road to 2K iRating at Road America, recorded after the fact. I made up a lot of positions, lap 1 and 2, so if you're gonna watch it at all, I suggest you watch that part. Hopefully, in the issues I have here, recording will be fixed in the future, but I really don't care anymore. So, yeah, we should get going any moment now. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, and then here we go. The start, that idiot, he does what he does. I'm not gonna talk the whole time, but if I do, get over it. So I have a way better launch than like 3 people right off rip. Again, I'm sorry if the frames are choppy. It looks good on my end, so sorry. But again, it's really for me. It was really shit. So here, I got more trust in the car than anyone else. So that's like 4 or 5 positions right off rip. This guy going on his inside, braking so early. These guys are scared. And I have a decent, not great run coming into this next kind of sharp braking zone or hard braking zone. That guy, Lord knows what happened. But really, I had a bad qualifying. I didn't get a lap in, or I'd be way up the field. So I know I'm way faster than these guys. This split was, I think, 1500 iRating. After this race, I was 14 something, and so it's about my level. But I'm really feeling this track and car combination. And I just have a lot more confidence in the car right now than I think everyone else. It's not a hard car to drive. I'm not going to say anything like that. But I'm just feeling it a lot more, and I can tell based on the way I'm driving. And so, started P22, and we're moving up quickly. And at the end of this lap, beginning of the next lap, really, it is a pretty cool move. At least it looks cool, and then they back out early. They're not sticking to it. I think it would have been fun, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second, for everyone to commit to it, but they just didn't. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn off this part right here. I hope the audio isn't choppy when I redo this, and it's just the physical frames. But either way, we'll see. When I drove, it was smooth frames, so it was pretty fun. A little bit wiry exit coming down here. And here we go. That guy has a good run on him. But really, I have a good run on both of them. I'm going to go to the outside psych. I'm going to go to the middle. So here we are, 3 wide into turn 1. And like I said, I'm more confident in the car than everyone else. I'm not braking until we get to the braking zone. And so, easily get past them. So that's 2 right there. And after lap 1, we go up 11 positions from 22nd to 11th. And really, it was no difficulty at all. And I'll spoil it because no one wants to watch this whole thing. I eventually climb up to P5. This guy P5 and 6 battle. He has a moment, and that means I get to keep P5 permanently. But he does chase me for the rest of the video, which is fun. Yeah, I was cooking these guys. Could have used a lot more in the exit there, but it's lap 2. Again, not using the whole track. And that's kind of a theme I noticed with my driving, and I'm kind of just talking to myself right now. But I really fail to use the whole track, and I think that really limits me. Right here, I'm not afraid to get too close to the thing. You'll see that in the laps. But when I was rewatching the game, I feel like I'm picking the same braking point, putting the same brake pressure down, putting the same turn-in spot, when I turn in. But when I look at it, I'm turning in, a meter or so, maybe not that much, but to the right or to the left of when someone else is turning in, and it's not carrying way more speed, have a better line, etc. So, I feel like my braking and throttle application. My throttle application is not perfect. My braking is better. But really my driving line is what's, I think, holding me back. I have really good racecraft, I would say. Just don't have the full out pace that I would like. And so yeah, that's really it. You see I'm already in at the start of lap 3. I'm already in that 6th position. I'm just gonna hunt this guy down. And yeah, so that's gonna be the rest of the video. And I'm not really gonna talk. If I knew how to get rid of the HUD here, I would, but I'm really just recording this just so I can have it on the YouTube channel, and I'll try to continue the series really for my own self. Like, I bought new pedals for this, and I've gotten 2 wins on them, and my new wheels coming in on Tuesday, and so I'm feeling pretty good, you know, all in all about the whole sim racing thing again. I was really excited to get back into it. My pedals were broke. I had Logitech, and my pedals were broken, and I had cleaned them out before, and I had finally broken. I was like, I'm just gonna clean them out again, and I didn't want to, but I was gonna, you know, the potentiometer, they get whatever. It was both the throttle and the brake that was jittery, and so if I had full pressure on the throttle, it would still flutter between like half full and empty, and then the brake as well, basically doing the same thing, and so it was undrivable. So I had to pull them apart, and when I pulled them apart, one of the screws was stripped and wouldn't come out at all, and I was like, bro, fuck this. I'm just gonna buy new pedals. And so I did, and I'm really, really pleased with them so far. I got reinforcement rods for my play seat. And so I got the CSL Elite V2 pedals, and I have a Moza wheel, Moza R9 with a KS wheel coming in. What about getting that VRS wheel? You know, it's probably an honestly better investment, but I didn't like, it came in a cheap little bundle. I didn't like the look of the wheel, and I don't know, I just wanted to go with Moza. It was slightly cheaper, so I stuck with that, and we'll see if I'm going to be disappointed or not. And I may not finish recording this whole thing. I might be fast forwarding this replay till we catch up, and because I do want to see this battle. It was a good battle between me and him. You know, we both, you know, making mistakes here and there, and it eventually costed him the position. But you know, I was leaving the door open for him to come back, especially at the very end. I was choking, so that was his first big mistake. Means I get a good run on him here, and that just put us into contention for the battle. And you know, I'm trying to, like, you know, put a little pressure on him, make him think I'm gonna go in on him or whatever. And I think, you know, stuff like that doesn't necessarily work at a higher rating. But this is just mid-split. There's 3 splits. This is the middle one, and so, you know, we're not these super high level guys, and so I think putting that pressure on him can spook him a little bit. And then once you develop that trust as you're dancing around with this guy, he's dancing with you, you know, he knows I'm not actually going to send it, and so then you just got to fall in line. But he definitely had the pace on me for sure. And I wasn't particularly consistent in this race. I think I could have qualified P3, but honestly, I think P2 or 3, I can't remember. But I probably would have finished P3 or 4 position down. The guys in front of us, because he's P5 and then P4, and we were battling obviously, but they were much faster than me in race pace. And so I actually think that guy in front of us is lap car, if I'm not mistaken. But here, you know, terrible corner. And so we're not super consistent. He's got a little bit more pace than me, but I'm just slightly more consistent than him. And, you know, I make some dumb decisions here. I overtake him in spots I really shouldn't overtake him. I think he's smarter about the overtakes than I am. But again, you know, we put each other in weird spots, and so that's fair play to him. That's good racecraft on him. Let me forced me into an awkward overtake. I think I thought about it here, and I can't remember if I went for it. It looks like I do. It definitely was a pretty decent overtake there. And then as you'll see, it's going to be a battle for the rest of it. I know I said I was going to shut up, but I kind of don't want to anymore. close he is. So I don't remember. I have a problem where I look like I kind of race in my rear view mirror sometimes. And yeah, that turn right there, he's got me beat in this section. He's got me beat in turn 1 and turn 2. He has me about a tenth in each of those turns. I have him beat right here. And then this turn coming up, it's kind of a heavy braking one. Sometimes I got him beat and sometimes he has me beat. I nearly lost it in the last 2 laps there. I lose it right there. Went in too deep, but I had this turn on him. He goes a little bit wide. I feel like I still get closer most of the time. It allows me to have some pretty good runs on him down this straight here. But slipstream's not OP in this car at all. It definitely is there. Let me see, he's kind of in on me. We swap there. Sometimes he's better there, and this guy, yeah, he's flag. Let us go through. There, my turn in is just a little weak, and I gotta learn to commit. So that's what I'm talking about. We're both making some pretty big mistakes. Which is ultimately why we weren't fighting up at the front. I think, if we're both mistake-free, we have the pace advantage. He's swap back to me. And there, I should have stuck closer to him. But I mean, it was a good race. A really fun, good race. I mean, he messaged after the fact. It was chill. So we're gonna speed it up again. See when the next time. Oh, does it look like I'm gonna go for him here? I don't think I do. Yeah. In there, I totally could get closer and, go for it, and I probably would have had it there as he went on to the gravel. Here, I gotta be better. Go wider, stronger on my throttle application. This guy again, blue flag, lets us out of the way. We're just gonna keep it pushing. There again, my roll in is really, really choppy. Super inconsistent at that specific turn. Where I think, we'd be fighting up top. But we're kind of in no man's land between me and him. The guys up front battling for the podiums, and then there's no one behind us worth their salt. And so here's one of them. I have a lot of speed going into it. And, a little bit of contact there. I probably could have stuck it on the inside a little bit more, been a little bit more assertive, made it stick. And then we both would have been screwed up here. I'm going to go a little bit wide. Another off track. And that was the story of this race, was off track, off track, off track, off track, as we're going to speed up again and again and again. See, he just has me beat there. He has more confidence on the turn in than I do. Something about this car is they're super hard to lose on throttle. But they're really loose on turn in. So that's where I'm just not super comfortable quite yet. I just got back on. This is my 3rd race with these cars. And so I'm not super comfortable tossing it in just quite yet. So it just feels loose on entry. And it's the same here, especially in that downhill. It just kind of throws you a little bit. And I'm sure my brake transfer is throwing it off a little bit. But yeah, we'll speed it up again. See, I have another good run here. This one, I think I do send it on the inside. Yeah, I send it. And sorry, I'm gonna rewatch that one from his point of view. He knows I'm coming. He's gonna say car right. I remember thinking, well, I might as well do it. I didn't do it last time, but really, that was into an incident. He knows I'm there, and then we're just battling. And so this is where I think, that's, I haven't beat there, but I don't need to overtake him there. Especially when I know he has a slightly better exit here. He uses way more of the track than I do. And he's gonna get a good run on me into the places he's more comfortable than I am. And so, I mentioned earlier, I feel like I have some pretty good racecraft, and then, you rewatch it and you're like, maybe my racecraft in race IQ isn't what I thought it is, but I definitely did learn um, in it, and so it was good. And so we're just gonna keep speeding up until he messes up. And so we're just going, back and forth really throughout the whole thing. Here we are again. And I think this time, honestly, I think I did it again. No, I only did it once. And so I was like, I'm not making the same mistake. But I completely scuffed that turn. So I have no good run on him. So I missed that opportunity to set up right here. And here I'm trying to go wider than I think, but I'm still not. I should probably use that yellow, not the yellow, that gray sidewalk there. But I don't. You see there's gravel everywhere. He's weaving and weaving. Bro, I'm not that close. Here, that's like the first time I had a better run than he did. And I should have just stuck my nose right on him, because then I'm kind of taking a weird line into this. But I go for the overtake. He has the inside here. I think I give him way too much space several times. Oh, we both kind of lose the rear there. He saw mine. You can feel his. But I think it's also low-level racing. Is too good low-level racing is what I'll say. Is we give each other probably too much space, more space. As I come right again. Not necessarily like you're leaving the door open, but when you're battling wheel to wheel, you'll see me in turn one. Like I can sit closer to him, and they allow me to have a better run throughout the rest of the lap. But I'm giving him, 2 or 3 more tires widths than I need to, and that just kind of is. So it'll take time. As he is getting a little run on me, and this is where he messes up, and then the fade is really sealed. And so let's see, does he clip the grass or something? And it looks like he does. He clips the grass, locks up, and then he's cooked. And so that's 3 seconds. Now we have a 3-second gap. And this is where he turned it on. There was a huge gap. And, we're lapping pretty evenly. We're back to back. And then he really puts on the pace advantage for the rest of the race. We'll go ahead and speed up like crazy. Probably put it on my point of view, though. I think there's 15 laps, 16 laps, something like that. And he's slowly inching forward. So, see, I don't break into the 56s this game, I don't think. Maybe 56.8 or something. But sticking low 57s. We were battling a long time. The tires and the truss is a little bit... And especially I'm being hunted, right? And so, not entirely... I'm not feeling great, but these lap times are consistent, and that's something I didn't get with my other pedal set. 57.1, 57 flat. So I just need to improve the raw pace. The raw confidence is really the big thing, is confidence. You see I get a million off tracks, though. And the other thing is, I have that 3-second buffer, and at this point, he's closing in. This is a lot closer than 3 seconds. And you see he's doing it about a 1/10 a lap faster. That's probably 1/10 and a half too. It's like 1.8, then it was 1.7, then 1.6, and so that stuff adds up quite a bit. And I think this next lap, so right there, I have a big mistake. And if I was him, I'd be like, oh thank God. So he sees me, kind of go pretty wide, and so that's going to cost me quite a bit, and I think I still had a decent lap. Yeah, my fastest lap, and I had a big, huge mistake, 56.7, but he went 56.5, so it was like, we're really pushing each other, which I thought was awesome, but he's besting me in pace, for sure, and I think, if he didn't make that 3-second mistake a long time ago, I think he had the advantage on me, and so I was pretty fortunate. But that's racing. And so here we go. Right here, at this point, I'm scared on entry. You see, it's kind of swirly on entry here. And this lap coming up, this turn right here, is the one that I'm the most terrified about. And I lose it a little bit. I guess it's not this lap, it's another one. it'll be this lap. And so I go wide, and so this, I don't want to say, and again, we're getting faster as the race goes on, but so is he. He's just a little bit faster every lap, just a little bit. And see, he's a lot closer this time. And here it is. I believe it's this lap. I could be wrong. But we lose it almost entirely. That's a pretty big moment there. And it felt a lot bigger. When I look back on it, I'm like, oh, whatever. But when I was in it, I've lost the car here in that entry pretty consistently. Like, the rear was sliding way out on me. It's so loose on entry. And then, just like correction, jam the throttle and get that rear back. And then, you just finish the race. And he's so close at this point. So close. But it's not enough. And I can finish the race. I get another off track there, and I was like, damn. Another lap, and he would have had me for sure. My tires were a little bit cooked. Had a stinker of a lap. And he runs a 56 flat as his final lap. And I do a 57. So he got a second in that final lap. So that was the race. I hope you enjoyed it.